Renault just did something nobody saw coming. They took a car from the 1960s that your grandparents probably drove and turned it into an electric SUV for 2026. And honestly, it might be one of the smartest moves any car company has made this year. This is the new Renault 4L E-Tech and is not what you think. Most car companies are making EVs that look like boring spaceship blobs. Renault looked at their 60-year-old boxy hatchback and said, let's bring that back. And before you roll your eyes thinking this is just another nostalgia cash grab, hear me out. The original Renault 4 sold over 8 million units because it was cheap, practical, and could fit your entire life inside. Fast forward to 2026, and we're facing the exact same problems. Cars are expensive, gas prices are wild, and most EVs cost more than a house down payment. So what does Renault do? They resurrect the 4L as an affordable electric crossover that actually makes sense. Let's talk about what this thing looks like first. Renault isn't just slapping a battery in an old design and calling it a day. They're mixing the boxy, upright look of the original with modern styling that doesn't look like every other crossover on the road. Think rectangular headlights reimagined with LED tech. Think that iconic stance, but smoother and more aerodynamic. The original 4L had this simple, honest design that stood out because it wasn't trying too hard. And that's exactly what Renault was going for here. In a sea of angry-looking crossovers with fake vents and unnecessary creases, the 4L E-Tech is refreshingly different. Now here's where it gets interesting. The inside is where Renault really had to balance old and new. The original 4L was basically a metal box with seats and a steering wheel. Practical? Absolutely. Comfortable? Not even close. But the 2026 version takes that practicality DNA and adds everything we expect from a modern car. We're talking digital screens, sustainable materials, and actual storage space that makes sense. The original 4L could swallow ridiculous amounts of stuff, despite being tiny. Renault confirmed they spent serious time making sure the new one keeps that superpower. Expect clever storage solutions, flexible seating, and a minimalist dashboard that doesn't overwhelm you with buttons. But let's get to the important part. What's under the hood? Or more accurately, what's in the floor, because this is an EV. The 4L E-Tech comes with a 52 kilowatt-hour battery and a 148 horsepower motor. That gives you up to 247 miles of range on a single charge. Now I know what you're thinking, that's not Tesla numbers, but here's the thing. For a subcompact crossover that most people will use for daily driving and weekend trips, 247 miles is actually perfect. You're not buying this to road trip across the country every week. You're buying it because you need something practical for getting around town, running errands, and occasionally taking longer drives. And 148 horsepower in a small, light EV? That's plenty of zip. Plus, it's got fast charging, so you're not sitting at a charging station for hours. But Renault added something really cool here. They built in a 3-level regenerative braking system with a 1-pedal driving mode. For those who don't know, regenerative braking turns your motor into a generator when you slow down. It captures energy and puts it back into the battery instead of just wasting it as heat like regular brakes. With 3 levels plus 1-pedal mode, you can choose how aggressive you want it to. In 1-pedal mode, you basically never touch the brake pedal in normal driving. Just lift off the accelerator and the car slows itself down while charging the battery. It's weirdly fun once you get used to it. And speaking of tech, Renault isn't leaving you hanging when it comes to charging infrastructure. They mentioned something about tech that softens public charging pains. That probably means better integration with charging networks, payment systems, or navigation that actually shows you real-time charger availability. Because let's be real, one of the biggest headaches with EVs right now isn't range, it's finding a charger that actually works and figuring out how to pay for it. You'll also get all the safety stuff you'd expect, like adaptive cruise control, lane keeping, automatic emergency braking, basically all the tech that keeps you from accidentally drifting into another lane while you're changing the radio station. So why does this car matter? Because Renault figured out something that most car companies are missing. People don't want everything to look like a spaceship. They don't need 500 horsepower in a 0 to 60 time that makes them throw up. They want something affordable, practical, good-looking, and easy to live with. The original 4L succeeded because it gave people exactly what they needed without any nonsense. The 2026 version is doing the same thing, just with a battery instead of a gas tank. And at a time when most EVs are priced for people who shop at Whole Foods, having an affordable electric crossover that doesn't feel cheap is huge. Renault is betting that there's a massive market of people who want to go electric but don't want to spend 60 grand or compromise on space. Looking at this thing, I think they're right. The 4L E-Tech isn't trying to be the fastest or the fanciest, it's trying to be the sensible choice that you actually want to own. And honestly, that might be exactly what the EV market needs right now.